Welcome to the Philosopher's Games. With the Gamescom behind us, we will have a look at some insights from there. The video will be a bit short, but hopefully with somewhat better sound and video footage, except for one game. Chris Roberts and Cloud Imperium Games showed more Star Citizen. It was quite interesting, at least for someone who is not that deep into the game itself. The new video gives probably a very good idea what the multiplayer part of Star Citizen is about. The seamless transition from space to planet surface really looks great, and it seems that you can land everywhere. They showed again how players inside of ships and inside of buildings or space stations can see each other through the windows, when they are in the line of sight of course. Really impressive tech behind it, especially with ships moving with different speeds and sometimes having different gravities. Also, when stations and ships are crowded with players, it potentially gives a level of detail that makes them feel far more alive, and that is unique to Star Citizen. Beyond that, we have a very fluent transition from space and space combat to the first-person shooter combat. There are even vehicles for ground combat. I haven't played it, but technically it looked very solid. It looks like all the puzzle pieces and modules are coming slowly together. Gigantic potential is in this game, but space combat and ground combat have to be fun, and you need enough things for players to do, with ideally a good player-driven economy. If they can manage this, and with the VR technology available, this game could have a huge impact on the industry. But let's move on. They announced a Dark Souls 3 announcement for August 24th. I assume it's a DLC. I will most likely make a video about it if it's not again a new t-shirt. My guess for where to enter the DLC would be either the Untended Graves or even the Firelink Shrine and the Cemetery of Ash, and explore the failure of Gundyr in an alternate timeline. Or another possibility would be something inside Lothric Castle, or maybe the Cathedral of the Deep and the Abyss. Deus Ex Mankind Divided will be out tomorrow. The DirectX 12 support for the PC version will be deactivated and is delayed to the 5th of September. So the game will be out normally, just the DirectX 12 functionality comes a bit later. Reviews so far say that mechanic-wise it's strong. Story is okay, but didn't improve much on Human Revolution, only a little bit. So if you liked Human Revolution, you will like Mankind Divided too, I guess. It also seems like the game runs good, but the PC version most likely needs a little driver update for some systems. The game is quite taxing on high settings, so you probably should consider to deactivate MSAA if you run into performance problems. I found a little game called Dropzone. Looks interesting. It's a micro-based RTS where you only control 3 hero units, like the Lost Vikings in Heroes of the Storm, but it seems that you can equip them with abilities and the like before the game starts, but you still need to level them inside a match to activate them. You fight against one opponent for resources called cores that you have to bring into the center of the map to score. Who has the most points after 50 minutes wins. I hadn't much time to play it, but it looked very interesting. Not many news about Sunless Sea Zubmariner. It will be released 11th of October 2016, and Alexis Kennedy, the lead writer of Sunless Sea, is now a guest writer for Stellaris, which is kind of interesting. Else, nothing new. Then I saw footage of a game formerly known as Hunger. It is now published by Bandai Namco and called Little Nightmares. It seems like a dark little adventure, and I really like the art style. It has something as if you could touch it. It looks physical or haptic, if that's the right word. I also got the impression that they tell the story or backstory with what is going on in the background. That is nothing totally new, but it got my attention. The last game is Final Fantasy 15. I can't show footage, sorry. As mentioned in the other video, Final Fantasy 15 got delayed to the 29th of November 2016. I think a bit more time can be good for the game to give it the extra polish. We saw a bit more footage at Gamescom and the world looks very huge. Combat also convinced me a bit more than before, but we will see how good it is when the game will be finally released. I think the people waiting for this game will be happy with it. Also, Zelda still looks great. Oh, as a side note, the footage you saw in this video is alpha and beta footage from Gamescom 2016 and everything can change. And that's it for my summary of Gamescom 2016. I tried to bring in some titles you probably don't know and some news. I hope audio is better this time. I also used more footage. If you liked the video, consider following me on Twitter for updates or subscribe to my channel. If you have feedback, feel free to write a comment. Thank you for watching and goodbye.